Welcome to Everything Eichler. I'm your host, Fred Eichler, and this week we're going to take you down to Georgia to the Gopher Plantation with our buddy Ryan. We've had some amazing hunts out there in the past with him, and we were looking forward to this one. Well, as soon as we pulled into the Gopher Plantation, Ryan was like, "Are you ready to go hunting?" We're like, "Yes." So I grabbed my recurve, and we head into the woods. Well, the first thing that I realized is that in my haste, I didn't bring my thermocell.
That's what happens when you forget your thermocell.
So I am instantly miserable. I got mosquitoes all over me, and I'm like, don't ever do that again. You're in Georgia, you need your thermocell. So even though it's starting to get dark, I had some amazing stalks. On one, I slipped up, and I'm like, oh, I've got these pigs. All I need is the right angle. I'm just waiting for a good side angle, broadside shot or quartering away on this pig. And it just doesn't give it to me. And all of a sudden I felt the wind switch, hit me in the back of the neck, and pew, pigs, well, they were gone.
A couple little pigs. I didn't want to shoot the sow. I wanted to shoot that little boar. Came out almost. He was literally turned sideways. I was like, oh, one more step. He went,
Although I didn't shoot an arrow that first evening, the pigs were there, and we were pretty excited to get back out the next morning.
back on the Gopher Plantation with Ryan. Got in last night, got up right on a bunch of hogs right away. Made an awesome stalk, got winded, but now we're cruising around. They've got different bait stations out, we're checking those out, and then we're just spotting hogs and trying to make some stalks. So hopefully we'll ease up and take a pig back to Colorado.
Well, the next morning we were back at them, and I was having a blast. And one of the most fun ways to stalk down there for me is to slip along little trails or even two-track roads and use my loopholes and just let them do the work. Sometimes pigs, amazingly, can blend in, especially in the shadows or in the dark swamp. So I would ease along, constantly checking the wind and using my binoculars to try and spot a pig before they spotted me. Well, I was having all kinds of close calls. Stalks that didn't quite pan out, things where I got winded, or a couple times where I got spotted when I didn't expect to. On one, I'm slipping up on these pigs down the road, and pigs don't see great. Now, a lot of people don't give them credit though. They can see probably at least as good as we can, but they do spot movement, and they can smell and they can hear really well. But I was slipping up on a group of pigs that were quite a ways down the road. They were feeding in the brush off to the side of this little two-track, getting ready to go bed up in the swamp. And as I'm easing along, all of a sudden I hear, "Urgh," and I look and there's a pig right next to me. And it didn't take long before he adiosed. And the others, well, they went with him.
So we've had a couple of amazing stalks. I just haven't been able to connect with a pig yet.
Well, the Gopher Plantation was started by Ryan's grandfather, Benny. And he has such an amazing place out there that Ryan has done an amazing job of not only keeping up, but improving on. Just the buildings alone are incredible. The old, I'm gonna even call them artifacts because some of them are so old, but it's a part of our American history. Benny at one point was talking to me, there was a little, oh, I don't know, a little curio or a little, it was just a little fake cart with a little fake horse on it. So he had this cool little cart and it had it looked like a little mule pulling it. And I asked Benny about it and he said, well, Fred, that's almost a replica of the one that I used to use every day when I was younger and when we were pulling tobacco out of the fields.
Put as much as they could over their arm as long as they could go, and then they'd drop it in here, crossways. And
so the tobacco leaves, and your job was to take a mule.
yeah, and it would stand back here.
I'm like, what? And he's like, Fred, my job every day as a very young, like a young boy, was to literally guide this mule in this little wooden cart, and he would take it down the rows, and the guys would load up tobacco in this big cart. And then he would have to take it to another barn, and then they would unload the tobacco. But, if kids understood today how hard our parents in a lot of cases, our grandparents and our great-grandparents worked, well, they wouldn't complain about doing a few chores. So the Gopher Plantation was just full of amazing mounts. Everywhere you looked, there was deer mounts from the Gopher Plantation, bobcat mounts, hog mounts, things that they had taken there and also taken on their other trips hunting. So it was really neat looking at not only all the animals, but all the old photographs. In one photograph, Benny was like, well, that's my old relative, and he actually lost his leg in the Civil War. And I'm like, holy cow, just the history, the old tools, the old equipment, really neat walking through the Gopher Plantation. Well, now with my Turbocell really close to me, it was time to try and find a pig. Well, I ended up finding this pig in the brush. It was working down this trail. I slip up and get in front of it. It walks by 15 to 20 yards, and I literally run an east and arrow, tipped with a wasp broadhead right through this pig.
That was awesome. I shot through the brush and smoked a pig. He was working through the tall stuff. Ryan spotted him up there and he said, he's right there. And I just put a wasp CBW right through him. My arrow's gotta be right here. Look at that. That's that wasp CBW. Boom! It went through him.
Yes, it did.
I mean, it went through him. That is the best sound in the world.
Like butter.
Look at that, Easton Legacy. Shooting the bow.
Doesn't get any better.
Dude, it's just something about it. I just can't stand it. Like, I'm shaking.
And I am ecstatic. I mean, I've hunted all kinds of stuff, but there's something about pigs or any kind of hunting really. Could have been rabbits and I would have been having a blast. But you know, hogs are just built for bow hunting and they're great to eat and there's usually a lot of them, so it's multiple stalks, just like in this case. But this one turned out perfectly and now it was time to blood trail a pig.
Oh Lord, I'm surprised he made it out
There
of
he
there.
is. I can't believe. All right, check this out. That is so cool. Look at all the blood. The nice things about the gopher is that the pigs are moving around a lot
Throughout the day.
That's the entrance, and we'll turn him around here. And that's the exit right there at the creek. What a lot of people don't read, this is the perfect size eating hog.
Yep.
What do you think that pig is? Maybe 80 pounds?
Yep, probably.
Sound pretty close?
And a good young hog, so it'll be great table fare.
And when we break this pig down, wait till you see the meat and the color of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of your feeding program. And we've crossed peanut fields.
Yep.
We've crossed, what else do you have planted? You got sorghum.
We've got food plots planted, spring and summer plots we just drove through. Yep.
Then you have a supplemental feed program too that helps put weight on these pigs.
Yep.
And helps keep them here. And that's what's so fun. We've had some amazing thermal hunts here. We've had some amazing daytime hunts with bows here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a perfect size hog that I want to take back to Colorado. It's going to be amazing.
But next up is Lauren. Lauren runs camera and has run camera and not only run camera, but hunted herself and guided all over the country. But she was pretty dang excited to step up and see if she could take her first Georgia hog. Well, Lauren, like me, had a couple close calls, but she doesn't like to shoot unless everything is pretty much perfect, which is a prime example of a good bow hunter. So, after some really close calls that didn't quite work out, it was time for Lauren to slip up on another pig. I ease out, I take my loopholes, and I slide out past this palmetto bush, and I'm like, there's some pigs. So I ease back, I motion, and here comes Ryan and Lauren. Now Ryan is not only guiding, but he's also helping run camera. So he's right behind Lauren. I'm behind him, videoing both Ryan and Lauren, and they slip up. So Lauren's using the Leupold RX 5000 rangefinder. Not only is it awesome for getting the range, but it's also pretty dang handy because it'll send it to a mapping program that you have on your phone, like Onyx, and you can mark a pin, you can mark a spot, you can go to it. Pretty amazing. But she gets the yardage on this pig, and it comes up as 37 yards, so just barely shy of 40. So Lauren draws back her bear compound, and at almost 40 yards, puts a picture perfect shot on this beautiful hog.
Got him.
Oh, great shot. That was a great shot. What, 37 yards?
37 yards, yep.
And you blew
I
his
put
heart
it
out.
just a little low because I figured you'd touch.
Look at
That is
shot.
awesome.
Great shot.
The wasp jackhammer. Woo! That's
Nice.
awesome.
That was
Thanks,
another easy track job,
Ryan.
wasn't
Heck
it?
yeah.
So now we've got another pig to put in the Yeti. So as Lauren breaks that one down, me and Ryan are making a game plan for that evening. As it was getting dark, well, it was pretty much dark, and we were heading back. Ryan's like, "Whoa, there's some pigs up there." So Ryan holds the light and I go slipping up. It is almost dark. It would have been impossible to try and shoot this pig with a compound using pins. But with a recurve shooting traditional, well, that is a perfect scenario. If I could see the pig, then I could probably shoot the pig. So I go easing up if I can get in range of the pig. That's the biggest thing. But I go slipping up. I get 20, 25 yards from this pig, draw back, and smoke this pig.
That is too much fun. Slipping up on some pigs. Got a bunch of pigs here at night. Shooting a recurve.
Good shooting. Thank you, brother. I enjoyed the heck out of that.
I
That's
did
good
too, buddy.
stuff. How far do you think it went? 40, 50 yards?
Total, I don't know that he made 30.
It did not go very far. Thank you, man. What a freaking blast.
Yes, sir. Good time.
I got another pig to clean.
Look at pig.
That's what I'm talking about.
On this next pig, I would usually never shoot this far, but I ran out of cover and it's starting to get dark. I range it and I look back at Ryan and I'm like, it's 50 yards. And Ryan's like, and I take that to mean send it. Now Ryan may have been saying sneak closer, but I'm like, all right, 50 yards it is. So my old bear recurve, I draw back and you've got to check this out. I shoot and drop this pig in its tracks. Now, was there a little luck involved? There certainly may have been. Okay, probably. But I dropped the pig and I was ecstatic.
50 yards. 50 yards. That's what I'm talking about. 50 yards. Measure it from back there.
Check out the footage from Ryan's phone, which is kind of cool because you can see the arc on the arrow as it leaves my bow and lobs down into this pig. Hey, they say it's not lucky if you get what you're aiming at, and that's what I was aiming at, so it worked out pretty good.
Measure it from back there.
Well, what a way to end the hunt. Starting to get evening. We knew this was going to be the last stalk. Closed in, and I hit it with the Leupold BX4 ranging binocs. And I literally turned back to Ryan and I went, it's 50 yards. And Ryan nodded. So I was like, I'm gonna send it and drop this pig in its tracks at 50 with my bear recurve that I helped design. Pretty awesome. Shoot that wasp CBW. Hit the bone does not bother that broadhead. So it was pretty neat watching this pig just drop in its tracks. So pretty awesome evening again here in Georgia at the Gopher Plantation.
Well, with 4 pigs in the Yeti, it was time to head back to Colorado with some fresh meat.